I'm here, sadly, because I want to tell you how to break a character who's been developed for 6 years in the span of 30 minutes.
Now, this may come as somewhat of a shock to you, but please hear me out.
We first meet Wong as he's a librarian in Camartage who swore on his life to protect books that hold spells capable of making or breaking the entire universe. With 2 pages of a book, Caecilius was able to summon Dormammu, and if not for Strange, he would have consumed the world into darkness. With 2 pages. Huge, right? Well, once upon a time, it was.
Well, not anymore.
We meet the Ancient One as well, a kind but ruthless mentor to Strange, who looked like 1,000 years old and as wise as double that, who had to literally die before she abandoned the fight. I could go on a whole ramble about how the Ancient One is the best Sorcerer Supreme there ever will be, but this video is not about that. It's about how Wong's not fit for this position anymore.
You're not fit to wear this shirt.
I'm gonna touch lightly on media previous to She-Hulk 4, just so that we don't forget to point out their flaws, but what breaks him the most is this episode, and it's the worst Wong could have ever been portrayed. Let's start with Wong's quick cameo in No Way Home. It is unacceptable the way Strange calls out his superior for not casting a monthly maintenance spell on one of their portals that covered the entire sanctum is known.
No, that is unacceptable.
I don't think it's nitpicking to talk about this if the highest authority of the mystic arts is to be respected as it was in the first movie. Wong is forced to defend himself, saying he has higher duties, which he absolutely does if the concept of a Sorcerer Supreme is the same as in Doctor Strange. You have to take that stuff seriously, or else people will die, worlds will perish, universes will fall apart. A Sorcerer Supreme takes care of everything, minor or major, but to do that, he needs his masters to help him. He has to assign people with smaller things that need to be done normally so that he can focus on more important things. He can't have his focus on the road if the kids in the back are putting their heads out the window and making a mess.
A true warrior must keep her focus on the road.
So in that instance, it's actually Strange's fault, and he absolutely shouldn't talk that way to Wong.
No, you really shouldn't talk that way to your captain, Quill.
This movie revolves around Peter asking Steven to erase people's memories on his secret identity, and as it's established to mess with borders between known and unknown universes, it carries infinite implications. It could go wrong in infinite ways. Wong shows interest for a split second and explains how dangerous it is, but then follows by asking to be left out of it.
That is a huge problem.
The plan Caecilius had was, in concept, less worse than Strange, and he was cast out from Camartage for having ideas before he even did anything that threatened the safety of the world. The planet. Steven threatens the multiverse. The casting of that spell was something that should have gotten Strange cast out, or at least be denied permission to do. This would be amazing to show how capable our current Sorcerer Supreme is.
A time before man lost his way.
Let's talk about Multiverse of Madness for a spell. No pun intended. Wanda in this film is made stronger by having the plot toned down, Strange and Wong's power levels. The Scarlet Witch is an incomprehensible powerhouse, but as stated by Agatha, her powers could be matched by the Sorcerer Supreme. If anybody knows what they're talking about, it's Agatha, with maybe even more than 400 years of experience. And if she said that, Wong should be as powerful as Wanda. Unless the rules of the game change depending if it's gonna be a good line or not, which shouldn't be the case if you're building a shared universe. Everything has to match up with each other. Every product has to follow the rules as to speak the same language as the next, and when it doesn't, it can break the whole cinematic universe. When I watched WandaVision and I watched Agatha say that, I was hyped for a whole year, waiting for the day Wong was gonna fight Wanda. When I saw Wanda was in Multiverse of Madness, I went crazy thinking there was going to be an epic fight scene between them, and
Damn, that was disappointing. Come on.
Wong had countless opportunities to attack her, like when he was untied at the bottom of Mount Wondagore and he did nothing to her. Nothing. We just got Wanda throwing Wong all over the place. Man, if she's too powerful to be stopped, try. By the way, nobody could win a battle when you open a portal right through them.
You have a point there.
Just because you need more screen time doesn't mean you can take the well-established characters we have and make them weak and unwilling to fight for what's right so that they have to figure out other ways to deal with the threat. Even Tony, the most egocentric man to ever exist in the MCU, was willing to give his life to save others, which...
Earth's mightiest heroes type thing.
And the Sorcerer Supreme, who swore his life on literally doing that, doesn't?
It's nonsense, Jessica.
Oh, I forgot, Marvel isn't about superheroes anymore. It's about inclusivity, gender bending, and men are dumb. Not having that fight hurts so much, and we know there's no other way we can get it back unless it's between two other variants, which, I mean, we won't really care about that much.
I'm glad they're not dead, but other than that, I don't care.
What bothers me the most in this film is not even that though. It's when Strange comes back, dream-walking with his multiversal corpse, surrounded by spirits, looking like a Pixar version of The Walking Dead, and Wong says, "I don't even want to know," when he definitely should. As stated before, Wong knew of the Darkhold in the Book of Ashanti when he became Sorcerer Supreme, so he should be the first one to know this book corrupts people. Strange uses the Darkhold. Wong does nothing about it. All we can assume is that Wong has the blindest faith in Strange that nothing bad will happen, in a reality where everything bad happens. We've seen a bunch of Stranges fall out of line. It's not far-fetched to think that this one could as well.
If he could be turned, he would become a powerful ally.
And even if he was Jesus Christ, Lord of all kindness and goodness, the Sorcerer Supreme's job is not to trust people, it's to ensure the safety of the universe. If a friend does it, it's fine, so what's wrong with an enemy doing it? Wanda wanted to be with her children and kill their mother on top of killing an innocent kid. Come on, guys. She just wanted to be happy. She saved the world with you. Give her some credit. That's no big deal.
It's no big deal.
Even Mortal would, at that point, be more suited to be Sorcerer Supreme than Wong, judging by what he says at the end of Doctor Strange.
The bill comes due.
Now, this is what you've been waiting for. Let's talk She-Hulk.
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
And things get worse, baby, they get way worse. The way Wong is written in episode 4, which is what I'm focusing on, shows Wong isn't powerful at all, and he lacks commitment to his position as Sorcerer Supreme. This magician show guy, Donny Blaze, is opening portals with the sling ring he got while being an apprentice of Wong's, given that Wong describes him to Jennifer as someone who knows who the hell he is. Or does he, really? Having that established, Donnie was able to hide from Wong his true intentions. Either that, or Wong didn't mind to check this guy out before he joined Camartage. In Doctor Strange, the Ancient One rejects Stephen the second she sees his sense of superiority. She also knew actually exactly who he was, down to how many surgeries he had. And that makes sense if you're the biggest authority in the mystic arts and you're looking for people to help you protect the universe. On a side note, we've seen what people can do with magic. Caecilius with 2 pages, Strange and What If in 838, and in the Incursion universe, Ebony Maw with Thanos. So it's reasonable to get to know someone's true heart and judge them if they are worthy of wielding that power.
But I digress.
Then we meet Medicine through a portal at Wong's house. That implies the Sorcerer Supreme doesn't have any protection regarding using magic in his place, so any magic user could get in and do whatever they wanted, steal the books, steal powerful relics, even kill him in his sleep. Nobody would know what happened, and we'd lose the biggest magic practitioner in the world. Wong is watching TV, and I cannot believe this man doing this. We've seen him reading, lecturing on mystical threats, fighting evil aliens. Never have I ever seen Wong watching TV or talking about it. He didn't even know Beyoncé, so that's not his personality.
Personality?
I mean, that's what counts, right?
I'm sure there's lots to do if you're the Sorcerer Supreme, the world's biggest authority in magic. If he's still watching TV after all his higher duties, then I can build a spaceship in my spare time and nobody can state otherwise. So this Donnie guy has opened portals, sent the girl to hell, and Wong only thinks that he has to pay for his actions when the girl spoils his show for him. Nothing that he did so far is more important than his soprano.
Are you for real right now?
I mean, maybe Wong didn't cast that monthly maintenance spell because there was a new episode.
That makes sense.
In Jennifer's office, they exchange a conversation, and that's deeply embarrassing. This man, who's supposed to keep the Book of Ashanti a secret, asks her if she'll be using it, which he goes to a lawyer expecting her to do magic. It doesn't make any sense that a man who lives in a society in the 21st century doesn't know that doing things by the book means the Constitution. Is he that brainless, or are we for still watching this horse shit of a show? This proves the point I make further in the video about Wong being able to deal with Donnie by himself without Jane's help. Here's a list of things that Wong could have done to prevent Donnie from using magic again. 1. Get his lingering back. He got a ball from Donnie. He could easily get the ring. 2. Conjure a spell that would render him unable to use magic. 3. Erase Donnie's memory from being able to perform magic, which was done for way less. This show means to scream at our faces that man cannot do anything without woman, even when it's his entire job to do so.
That's your job. That's what you do.
Even when the problem is something his students do every single day. But I understand if Wong dealt with Donnie himself, would have a 3-minute episode, which, when I think about it, it's actually better than having a 25-minute episode in which absolutely nothing of value happens the next week.
Sorcerer Supreme doesn't engage in competition. Prove it.
Yeah, prove it.
No.
Oh, I see it.
When Donnie opens a portal to Wong's this time for help, this would be the perfect instance to show Wong working on his protection around the house. This would entail his carrying of what he swore to protect, but come on, it's way more fun to see him watching TV and not spend money on another set, or even better, another writer altogether. I'm not even a writer, and I wrote down a list of things Wong could be doing instead of watching TV. 1. Studying. 2. Practicing. 3. Giving lectures on the mystic arts. 4. Practicing with his students. 5. Supervising his students. 6. Alright, and setting magical security. Now, Jen doesn't have any fighting experience to actually help Wong in the next fight. She doesn't know what to do, and she complains all the time about how she wanted to be fucking the pediatrician she met earlier, not saving people. She's selfish. And if Wong could send Donnie to the mirror dimension, I can't see why he can't send all these demons, get people outside, and open a portal for everyone to get out, leaving the demons inside without a way to escape. In the end, he opens a portal that has some sort of sucky abilities to get all the beasts into, so maybe it would be more clever to do that same portal right away, right when he gets in, without Jen's help. But I mean, he can't do anything with a woman because he's a man and he's stupid. The post-credit scene is the worst. Wong talks to Madison about the drinks they had, and it can't be more wrong to me. Wong's the type of guy, I imagine, would love to wake up to a cup of tea and resume his studying. I don't see him waking up hungover. For the next season of What If, I need an episode called What If Wong is on a bender and unable to fight some world-ending being resulting in the death of 1 trillion people.
It will make sense in the end.
It wouldn't be far-fetched if it was Banner in that scene instead. I mean, he was hosting a bar in Age of Ultron. But I've never seen Wong near drinks. I'm not inclined to believe in that scenario.
We can't believe it here, huh? None of us can.
I remember when the MCU put out everything so well threaded together that everything was magical, literally out of this world, but realistic at the same time. Everything made sense, and sometimes I forgot it was just a piece of fiction. I lost my mind about it. Those days are dead and gone. The mystic arts back in Doctor Strange was respected to the same degree as Infinity War and Thanos as a threat. That's why they're both my favorite Marvel movies. The theme, the problems in these movies, they were established with such grandeur, such high stakes because of how seriously they handle the subjects. These subjects are really hard to stretch into comedy without rendering the importance of it meaningless. See what happened to Gore. It was an awesome character, so much potential, basically thrown in the garbage by a guy wanting to write stand-up comedy. Wong, Strange, Thanos are so well grounded that they don't need to change ever. It's not like Thor that started on the wrong foot and actually improved by Ragnarok. So let them be what they are. Wong is only lovable and funny when he's not trying to be, and writing these characters without watching and paying attention to their personality traits is just blatantly breaking them. The whole character becomes shallow, everything he stands for, everything he ever did is lesser, and we lose all the interest we had before in any project that involves them. He was once a brilliant student, holder to thousands of books that if fallen into the wrong hands would wreak havoc in the multiverse. He was responsible. He would die for the mystic arts. He's now diminished to a fat bottom guy who doesn't clean his own messes, like Donnie, like Strange, and doesn't get involved not to be blamed if something goes wrong, when he is the first to be blamed if he's the head sorcerer. And I hope it's better written in future projects and Jessica Gal isn't handed Wong anymore, because really, she'll break any character to get her point across. I already bit Matt Murdock and I don't even know who he is. Jessica is speed running how many people she can fuck over in a one-season show. One thing we do need is for the mystic arts to be respected again, if it wasn't broken completely already. We don't deserve this disservice. Later.